I absolutely do not enjoy forecasting or saying that the time has come for anybody to stop doing something that they absolutely love, have worked so hard to acquire or to have the opportunity to, but damn, Jack Doohan is not doing it. No pun intended. Doohan is not doing it. I think along with other rookies, because of his sensible mannerism, his commentating as he was with the team before he actually got a full seat drive, you know, with Ruth and Jolien and Jacquees, he was there, and it was good to hear his input. And he seemed like a very level-headed. Actually, he still does seem like a very level-headed, kind individual, a solid teammate. But as now it's coming to where we need to see production with you in the team and adding to team value. And he is not doing that. If anything, he is destroying team value. What's going on, Mary Beanie? He is absolutely killing the value of the team. This is not Jack's first time. He had a collision that crashed him out in Australia. DNF that. He also already has, he's already got a situation where he's already in penalty points for currently in this season, which is not the best thing. But it does happen. Let's not act like it doesn't happen. It happens, but right now it's not something that Jack needs in his life. It's not something that he needs to keep adding to his resume right now as it sits, when Jack was pretty much penalized for running another driver off course. He received 10-second time penalty, which doesn't help the team. He then received 2 penalty points on his license for a total of 4 for the 12-month period. And that situation was with Hadjar, the other rookie. And we've already seen that he's already had a couple of other situations with contact, if it didn't lead to an all-out collision with other drivers on track, in the race, and other events. And here it is now. We're in Japan. We're only in the second free practice. And he absolutely obliterates the Alpine car. This is not doing well for the cost cap situation. And we're only in round 3. All right. You got to remember who you're working for. That's what I'm going to say. You got to remember who you work for. Mary Beanie, Incredible Facts Quest, R33, Z33. You need to remember who you're working for. You were brought in by Flavio. Flavio, I know a lot of us despise him, despise his presence in Formula One, because what he represents. He represents one of the most historical scandals in Formula One, in combination with Alonso, PK Jr., and it's not good. I don't think it's good for the sport to have him back at all. I think if you were involved and you were indicted, pretty much it's found that you did this, you should be banned from Formula One forever. To that degree, we're not talking about tire temperature. We're not talking about tire pressure changes. We're not talking about adding a bit on the car that may be questionable. We're talking about somebody who orchestrated a chain of events to then lead to cheating everybody out and benefiting the driver for a driver's championship. That's what we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about high-level cheating, a high-level internal scandal, premeditated actions to cheat the other teams within the sport of Formula One. He should not be back, but he's back. He's back, and he's an operation helm of Alpine. And Jack, he told you when he brought you in, Flavio is one of these rich, flamboyant ass people. Rich, flamboyant. Everything's my way, hit it on the highway. And when you deal with people like this, there's a couple of things you can do to piss them off. You mess with their money, or you make them look bad because they don't want to look bad. And right now, Jack is making Alpine and Flavio look bad. And you know who's sitting in the wings? Colapinto. Could it be possible that we end up seeing another driver switch on the grid before we even get to Miami, before round 6? Is Jack Doohan going to be replaced by Colapinto or some other driver that Alpine might want to try? The only saving grace at this point in time, and it's really not even a saving grace, is that his partner, not in crime, because Gasly's not out here wrecking up Alpines, he's 16th in the driver's standing, and he also has no points. Jack's only 18th. There's 20 drivers out here. Jack's 18th, and yeah, he has no points. So I guess if you're a team and you're kind of trying to analyze that, you say to yourself, well, it could always be worse. And Gasly's supposed to be the better driver, and he's not necessarily doing that great. But yeah, when you look at how much more money you're having to spend having Jack in that seat, there's something to be said about, do you want to continue down that pathway? And I'm not sure Flavio is going to want to continue down that pathway. I'm not sure Alpine's going to want to continue down that pathway. The only other relief that Jack may have is that Alpine right now aren't on any type of surge of performance. They're not in the contention. They're not even midfield level running right now. They're as a team, Alpine is, where is Alpine as a team? I want to say they last. Well, I'm right. They last. They're 10th with 0 points. Every other team competing has points. Even the Racing Bulls, courtesy of you know who, no one other than Yuki, has 3 points. Kick Sauber at this point in time in the season even has 6 points. That's crazy because this team went without points until like the last 2 races, courtesy of Zhou. They have nothing at all. They are dead last. Seriously, 0 dead last. The only team right now going into Japan with no points, and it looks like they're going to go out of Japan with no points. So is Alpine now going to take the place of Kick Sauber of 2024 and basically be a team that tries to beat the record of going the longest in the season with not having any points? I don't know if that guy's going to want to do that. I don't know if Flavio's going to want to try to outdo that statistic. I don't even know if he wants that tied to his name. He can't. I mean, he has worse tied to his name, but a smug person like him act like it didn't ever exist. It's over. We talking about right now. He doesn't want to have losing tied to his name. Evidently, that's the case because he wouldn't have cheated as much as he did if he didn't mind having losing tied to his name. Najee in the super chat says, I've been watching from the dark fam. Keep it. Hey, brother, man, appreciate you, Najee. Appreciate you very much for that super chat, supporting the channel, man. Don't forget, you all, get your hats, get your shirts, and support the channel and wear a brand that definitely supports you. All right. So I'm wondering, is the time going to come where not only Lawson gets demoted, but now Jack Doohan will get demoted? Hadjar, I think, is on a more improved trajectory right now. I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. Mary Beanie in the super chat says, Flavio will put Colapinto in, and Jay, you know, if F1 is on, then I'm up. And Salty needs to retire. He hasn't won a race since Spain GP 2013 with Ferrari. Damn, Mary Beanie, you didn't have to do him like that. Burn him up. That's a long time. It's a long time for a guy not to be winning, and then people not to even say nothing about that. And Bug Dollars, what's going on? But hey, I don't think this is going to end well. I'm going to give him round 6. I'm going to give him till round. I'm not giving him anything because I'm not part owner of the team. I'm not in his managerial chain of command. I am anticipating or forecasting that if Jack does not at least become more conservative with the wrecking of this car and can go in and out of race weekends clean, no incidences as far as tearing up the car, wrecking up parts. Maybe you have a little bit of contact here or there, but you're not getting towed off the track. We're not having to call the tractor out to get you. Maybe he survives. But if this happens, and I called it with Logan Sargent, and it happened, if Jack does this within this triple header. If Jack does this again in this race weekend, I think by round 6, he is definitely replaced. That is what I think. I think they put somebody else in the seat, like Mary Beanie just said. They'll put Colapinto in. I mean, because at this point in stage, we're not losing. We're not losing. So it's. I mean, and that was a pretty bad incident. That was a pretty bad collision. I mean, that was bad. That wasn't anywhere remotely near, to the point where they didn't even want him to get out of the car. They didn't even want him to get out of the car. They wanted him to stay in the car, don't get out, because the accelerometer went off at such a degree and level that they needed to keep him in there. That's not what you want. That definitely is not what you want, all right? So, like I said, I don't like to be at the helm of trying to campaign for anybody's career to be over, especially somebody wanting to do something like that. But I mean, Jack is not. He's not doing a good job. He's not doing a good job. And if anybody is wondering right now, as it sits, we are looking at 100% chance of rain for the race. Miles per hour at 3 for wind, and an increased temperature of around 4 to 5, depending. I'm not sure if it actually will rain. I'm thinking that it's possible we might be clear or overcast for the race on Sunday, especially at the time it is. I don't know. It might actually not rain. We just don't know yet, but we will see. We're still keeping an eye on the weather. It did report that it was raining earlier last week when we kind of started talking about the Japanese Grand Prix. But since we did our last live, the weather's kind of changed a bit, and we'll see. It says 100% rain risk, but remember, it said 40, 60, 80 here. Now it's 0, and now 100 here. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see if that's actually going to be something that will happen. But other than that, there's so much more that these teams need to worry about. I know that we definitely are trying to see, going into FP3, we want to see, will Ferrari, where will Red Bull be, where will Yuki be, especially. A lot of us want to see where Yuki is going to be. A lot of us are rooting for Yuki as far as his performance. I think Yuki has already done well. Within respect, FP2, you can't count. It was so many red flags, it was ridiculous, but Yuki was there. So it's going to be interesting to see where Yuki is in FP3 and then where Yuki qualifies. Some people are going to try to make a goal for Yuki that would be so outlandish that there's no way for him to reach that goal unless he wins the race. And that's absolutely ridiculous. I think that a top 10 finish, you know what? I'm gonna move it up. I think that a top 7 finish for Yuki in this race is success compared to what Red Bull has been getting from Liam Lawson. Mary Beanie says, Jay, you know my opinion on Salty, but Felipe, oh man, Felipe Drugovich should be in there. Felipe Drugovich should be in there for sure. For sure. But yeah, I think that Yuki, a top 7 finish, they haven't been getting that from Lawson. And they're still not getting that from Lawson, because if you look at FP1, Lawson is outside of the top 10 and Hadjar's in 8th. And so if we continuously see that, like I said earlier, anything you get from Yuki better than that, if you can get Yuki in points, even if it's the last point, that's more than you would get with Lawson to contribute to your Constructors' Championship campaign. And this is Yuki's first race, RB21, that at the home track with the new team, all of that stuff, that's a plus. And if he improves the next event, because it's a triple header, let's say he moves up to 7th, you're on a pathway that you did not have with Liam Lawson. And likely, depending on what Liam Lawson does with the Racing Bulls at VCarb, if he's still out of the points then and Hadjar's actually in points, I don't want to hear any of this Liam Lawson didn't have enough time. No, because what we're seeing is Liam Lawson in a car he has been in before, at a track he's raced at before, and several other tracks, he's not doing it. And so that means it was all a small body of work in a situation where he looked extra good, and we've seen that before. We've seen it before, and I won't be surprised if it happens now. But I'm tired of hearing all this double standard talk and excuses for Liam Lawson and defense for Liam Lawson, and then this heavy criticism and blaming for Yuki. Like I said earlier, I thought it was ultimately disrespectful for commentators to say that the only reason, the reason why Yuki was close to Max Verstappen was that the team was turning up the engine mode. A lot of people out here try to come at us for conspiracy thinking. You got a professional F1 commentator live on worldwide TV telling you without any shadow of a doubt of evidence, without any shadow of evidence, without any gleam of evidence, he blurts out of his mouth that Yuki's performance is tied to the team turning up the engine mode. He does not know. And then you have to come back and say, I would have called you a dumbass on worldwide TV, because ass is permissible throughout the TV world. You can say ass. I would have called you a dumbass. I would have said you disrespected Yuki. You owe him an apology, because then they found out that, you know what, maybe not. I might have to. Yeah, you do need to apologize. You do need to apologize. And unfortunately, we have another driver that has been way overdue to be replaced, and that's Lance Stroll. And that's not happening because Daddy owns the team. So nepotism is a mother, but it actually exists. And hey, if Lance Stroll can do it, if anybody else, you got a kid and you want to put him in prime position, I guess that's your prerogative. You earned it. You want to do it. Hey, but if it's at the risk of your team or your company going to shit, maybe you should rethink that. All right. So we'll see what happens with Jack. We'll see what he does for the rest of the week. Hopefully he's completely okay. If there's anything wrong, bumps, bruises, he should heal. And I do wish him a speedy recovery. But yeah, this could be very bad for Jack. So we will keep abreast of all situations. In some situations, something I'm like, I don't even care to talk about that. But we'll keep abreast of situations throughout the rest of the race weekend. Don't forget, we will be back live here for qualifying, so join us for that. That live is already up. All right, Wolfpack out. Peace and love. See y'all soon.